Hello everyone and welcome back to our Armatelum channel. I said I'd be making this video, and here we are, the video detailing my plans for the future of our Armatelum Showdown. Title drop intended. This video will detail 3 subjects: the game's roadmap, game distribution, and monetary plans. Because you know, this is an actual game that I want to sell and get money from. I have mentioned in other videos that Armatelum will have 12 chapters. Since we're on chapter 4, we're 1/3 into the game's main story. Each version of Armatelum Showdown will contain a new chapter and everything that comes with it, such as arenas, characters, playable characters, ability shots, and more. Plus fixes like typos, bugs, and crashes. My plan is to release Armatelum Showdown as an early access beta and update the game every few months with a new chapter release, up to version 14, where 12 will be the final chapter, while 13 and 14 will be post-game and extra content. For those of you saying, "Version 4 took almost a year, how would you do a new version in 2 or 3 months? That's because version 4 was a lot more than just chapter 4. It was a wild development process of adding in all the major parts of Armatelum into this version. So the next versions would be easier and faster to make, theoretically. If you've seen the version 4 preview video, you know how much I've added into the game, like an extra battle type, a new challenge runs game mode, a fully fleshed out practice mode, a robust chapter select function, a massive sweep of bugs, glitches and crashes fix-ups, loads of small new features, quality of life improvements all over the board, robust controller support, and a local multiplayer mode. And I took more breaks than I usually do. Even workaholics need a break. Since version 4 is the retail version of Armatelum Showdown, I wanted to add everything. All of the next versions will be their respective chapters, and all the content that comes with it. Demo 2 and 3 proved to me how fast I could make chapters. I was able to make chapter 2 and 3 in around 2 months, with chapter 2 being one of the longer chapters. This is my plan anyways. There's some chapters coming up that may take me longer than 2 or 3 months to make, but we'll see. The reason why I want to distribute Armatelum like this, rather than just distribute the whole finished game, is because of waiting times. If I build up hype now and the game comes out in like a year or 2 later, the hype and interest in the game might have died out. In fact, it probably will die out. A lot of games nowadays will add free version updates that add in new content, like Splatoon, Fortnite, Kirby Star Allies, Super Smash Bros, and more. My idea is similar to Bendy and the Ink Machine, where they release the game updates by chapter, or recently Friday Night Funkin', where each update adds a new week with new content. This will hopefully keep you all interested in what's to come. Plus, if content creators start making videos on Armate, new waves of teasers and content can keep coming in, meaning more videos. It's a win-win! I keep retention, content creators have more content to make, and you all keep getting more of the game in smaller but more frequent bursts, meaning less time to wait. What sounds better, waiting 2 years, or waiting 2 or 3 months, getting a new drop, and repeat? I know this sounds really businessy, but I'm trying to make this my job, so I have to think about this stuff. Being transparent with you all, I feel, is the best way to tackle this. I just need to find a platform that allows for automatic updates, so you won't need to re-download. The platform does it for you. Steam maybe? Epic Game Store maybe? Honestly, I don't know what does and what doesn't give automatic updates. Patreon! I could open one up, since Armatelum would be an ongoing project. The problem is that I have no idea what to give out as rewards. My only sustainable idea is to have a Patreons only blog, so I can give updates on what's been going on in the game, or in my life if it impedes development. Every other idea I have sounds more fitting for a Kickstarter/Indiegogo campaign. Patreon rewards are more so tailored for repeatable content, I feel, such as names in the video, which, even if I add it to the J5 the Hyperforce channel, I rarely upload there too. I also don't want rewards to be intrusive on the development of the game. You know, the thing I'm being paid to make. But of course, your names will be in the credits of the game. Maybe weekly or bi-weekly Armate artwork or comics exclusively uploaded to the Patreon? I don't know. A Kickstarter is my next option, but I'd rather have an income rather than a huge block of money coming all at once. Either way, I do have rewards that fit much better in a Kickstarter, such as high donators getting to design an Armate gear that goes into the game's collection room, or an Armate gear that's actually playable by the characters of their choice, or even a full-on playable character that's in the game as the highest donator tier. I could do this for the Patreon, but I'd have to make it a one-time reward, along with the other Armate gear tiers. The thing is with my Kickstarter, since I can see myself making the game fully without much money, this Kickstarter wouldn't be about getting the game made, but rather to improve its quality, such as better and original sound effects, original music that isn't royalty free and exclusive for Armatelum, and even voice acting, and most mental of all, a fully voiced visual novel! There's also the idea of buying the game. My idea for this is something akin to the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. Or I guess in Armatelum's case, the early harpy gets the worm. Basically, Armatelum will be sold on a platform for, let's say, £5 because I'm English. As more and more content is added, the game will be worth more money. So by the time version 14, the planned final version, is out, the game will be around 15 to 20 quid, maybe. Grabbing the game early means you buy the game on sale. You get a cheaper deal by buying the game in a more developmental state. The prices listed here are subject to change, since platforms do take a cut of the money, meaning I'll have to bump up the prices to cover those costs. Armatelum is much more than just a visual novel, thanks to all the content that the battle system brings. So I see Armatelum being worth a bit more than your standard visual novel. But it is made by me, so that'd knock it back down. Haha! Self-deprecating jokes are relatable and funny on the internet. TLDL, too long didn't listen. If you buy the game early, you get it for cheaper. All of the money I'd make would be for my game and my computer, for the house such as bills and shopping money, for clothes and food, and any extra oddities with any leftover cash. This would be my dream to create content for the world, so if I can get a Patreon or a Kickstarter going, I'd be a very happy boy. I may be autistic, but I don't want to be a bum for the rest of my life like a certain goddess I know. I want to live a life of being an entertainer. If I can get paid for that, because life is obsessed with money, I would be so grateful. There's also the issue of me having ideas for other projects. I'm not gonna say much, but I do have some ideas for other games, videos, and art projects. I have an idea to reboot an infamous comic series, new episode ideas for my insane writing practice series, Hyperforce All-Stars, a smaller game based on a certain creepypasta. That sounds weird for me out of context. Maybe do some reviews on products I've bought. Do gaming/visual novel videos again. Really, I could do Armate and other projects. Would people be okay with me jumping to other projects mid-development to provide a variety of content? Or am I just the Armatelum man now? This topic really worries me, because I have so many ideas that I want to try and do, but if I'm locked into my visual novel project, I can't really branch out. Lots of creators get stuck doing one thing and end up hating it, and I don't want that happening to me. I really don't want to tunnel myself into one project. I'm fine with having one major project and some side projects, but only working on Armate and just ignoring any other ideas I have just sounds very limiting and narrow-minded. What if the game doesn't get off the ground? Then I'd literally have nothing to fall back on. Of course, on my Twitter and/or Patreon blog, I'd tell my audience I'm working on something else and then jump back into Armatelum after this one video, or this piece of writing I'm doing, or whatever I'm doing. I just don't want to limit my creative ventures, and I want some backups just in case this doesn't work. Bottling up all these ideas may not be good for me, unless someone else wants to make my ideas and let me be on the team. No? Okay. This would mean I'd end up changing the Armatelum channel Patreon to be supporting me rather than supporting Armatelum the game. So a J5 the Hyperforce Patreon? While it would majorly contribute to Armatelum, if I brand it as a Patreon just for me and not just the game, I'd feel more willing to do other projects, since my paid obligation would be to providing content rather than just the game. I don't know, it depends on what you all want from me. J5 the Hyperforce Patreon? Armatelum Showdown Patreon? I don't know. Something. So, there's my plans for how I'm going to tackle the future development of Armatelum Showdown. A Patreon that will pay me to create a game that gets updates distributed every few months. First, I need to sort out my possible Patreon rewards, because I want something more than just names in the credits and a blog. Maybe a Patreon/backers only Discord server, but I have no idea how I would manage that. I also need to find out the most fair and affordable distribution platform that allows for automatic updates and an automatic downloader. The reason why I want the version 4 build to be the point where the game goes from a free demo to a purchasable product is because I feel Chapter 4 is a turning point in the game. Not only is it the end of the first story arc, the Hydro Waiver arc, it's also 1/3 of the game's story done. Armatelum Showdown, at the end of the day, is a visual novel, so the story is the most important aspect for the development, and since we're now 1/3 into it, it's time to let the game finally be a big boy game and be buyable. I could just unleash version 4 as a demo under the name Demo 4, and the early access game as version 4, but only the proper game gets the version 5 update and beyond, and not Demo 4. Or even just upload version 5 in a few months as the viable game, while version 4 is rebranded and repurposed into Demo 4. Or I could just make a demo version of version 4 that has limited content. You won't be able to get past a certain point in version 4, and if you want to, you gotta buy the full game. Who knows? I have a lot of thinking to do, and to be very honest, it's really daunting. Making my passion project monetizable is very daunting to me. And that means people have an expectation for me to deliver. Plus I have mental health and physical health problems too, so I need to find a good way to tackle all of this so my future audience can be satisfied, while I can also feel comfortable and strong about moving forward in my life. This will be a big step for me if it all goes right, and hopefully it does go well. I'd rather be a Scott Cawthon minus politics, or Toby Fox, or Dan Salvato, rather than other indie game devs. Those few last segments were very transparent because I don't want to act like something I'm not. I have plans, but are they good plans? Let me know in the comments below, or tweet at me on Twitter at Armatelum or at J5 the Hyperforce. Armatelum's coming around. I'm sitting on a relatively stable build of the game. I just need to sort out what's going on next. Hit that like button if you liked this video. Share it with friends because I need people. And subscribe to the channel and follow the Armatelum Twitter account to keep up to date with whatever plans I end up going with. This has been Armatelum Channel. More importantly, this has been Josh, J5 the Hyperforce. Until next time, throw down a showdown. I hope my future's good.